In our very first Women in Technology, most influential women in technology, we mentioned one Maureen Mwaniki. And as soon as she appeared on the list, she got herself a promotion. So she's going to tell us how she managed to do that and create boundaries between her work life and her personal life, and tell us how she managed to achieve such a grand goal within such a short amount of time. Maureen, take it away.
Hello everyone, my name is Maureen Mwaniki and I'm the Digital Operations Center Vice Director of Huawei Technologies, and I'm also the Women in Technology Huawei founder and director. But today we shall not focus on the titles, we shall focus on my journey in how to take charge of my future. With that, I'll be able to show you my journey into getting to these titles and how you can be able to grow yourself and get these opportunities and grab them with all the might that you can. So today, I'll take you through my journey as Maureen Mwaniki, and all the things that I've had to go through on a day-to-day basis to get to where I am. I had to take charge of my future to get to know where exactly and how exactly I shall support other women in this industry. So who is Maureen Mwaniki? Maureen Mwaniki is a wife and a mother of 2 boys. Maureen Mwaniki is a director of Women in Technology Huawei. Maureen Mwaniki is an engineer. Maureen Mwaniki is the Vice Director of Delivery Operations Center, where we usually check all the digital operations around the delivery and service projects. And last is that Maureen Mwaniki is also a STEM ambassador. So what does this mean? It means that where did all my journey and how did I get to where I am? Some of the background and the challenges that I faced. So I am an engineer, an electrical and electronic engineer from University of Nairobi. And one of the things is that I joined Huawei as a wireless engineer. So bringing back all the way to the journey, step by step, is that I was a wireless engineer all the way to quality control engineer, and now got to the point where I was promoted into being a manager, and now not only being a manager, but also now being the Vice Director of Delivery Operations Center. So what challenges did I face while I was within this journey from all the way from university to where I am now? Lack of mentorship programs. There were no mentorship programs where young girls could be able to be supported in bringing in technology or bringing in themselves into the new space around building themselves. What else was there? There was imposter syndrome. You find yourself that you know, but you still find yourself not wanting to be in that space. There was also work-life balance. You have 2 boys and you still have to balance with the work that you have and ensuring that you still deliver at the end of the day. There's also poor leadership shadowing. How does that mean? It means that sometimes you find the people at the top don't usually handhold the people who are coming up, especially from a managerial point of view. Another thing is lack of exposure. You find as you go on from the university, you're not really exposed. And unfortunately, that time, there were not so many programs that could be able to support you. And last but not least, there was lack of networking. So that was my challenge. That was the challenge, and I believe some of them are being faced, 1 or 2, by other young girls who are still in university or other women who are actually in my space. So how was I able to overcome some of the storms that I encountered? One of the keynotes is that we cannot overlook the reality around the fraction of STEM girls being within that space. This means that we still have a lot of work to do, still need to handhold some of these young girls, and the percentage is still very small. However, it has improved from my time. My time means that we have been able to bring in some of the opportunities. I have been able to learn from some of the networks I've gained, some of the imposter syndromes. When I walk into a room, it means that I am a leader and not being led. Yeah, I mean, and not overlooking my opportunity in that space. So one of the things is that I always tell young girls is that do not be selective in the areas that you've been put in. Always look at the places that you can be exposed. Expose yourself as much as possible. Look at the bigger picture. Don't only look at the fact that you're a small percentage of young girls within that space of STEM. Look at it as a great opportunity that what can I do to better this industry? What can I do to better this space? What can I do to better a younger girl who is also facing the same challenges to come into this space? And another thing is that you need to grab the opportunities around you. These opportunities are the ones that they will not just come to you in a silver platter, but they'll be the opportunities that you have to go look out for them. And that is one of the things that I had to do. I had to figure out what is my talent, what is my biggest opportunity that I can be able to embrace. It means that I move from my comfort zone into an uncomfort zone, and by the time you find yourself growing, it means you're moving from an uncomfortable, a comfortable place to an uncomfortable place, and that means you're growing. Another thing is allowing the supportive system around you to pull you up. Always let people around you criticize you, let them build you. I was criticized many times, and that helped me to build myself. And it is okay to ask for help. It is okay to blunder in one or two things, but at the end of the day, that is how you get to learn. And then seek mentorship and training programs that you can be able to build yourself. If you can see from the pictures, the percentage around all the pictures is that we are a small percentage of the women in STEM, but that did not beat the purpose that I can still climb a tower, I can still climb a pole, I can still be able to be in the presence of other fellow members who are still equal in the same space, because at the end of the day, it's what we want to output. So in all that I do, how do you still give back? So for me, I was able to try and bring out that space. I didn't want so many people to go through such challenges. One of the stories I always tell, and I always tell younger generations who come and ask for mentorship around me, is that I tell them one day I got lost in Masai Mara while I was trying to look for something. But at the end of the day, I knew I would still come out a hero out of that. And at the end of the day, that made me prove that I was able to do better. This brought me to forming and founding, together with my colleague, the Women in Technology Huawei, which helps us to empower, to connect, and to support the current and future generations of women, providing them with role models such as myself and other fellow women in the STEM space, and skills and opportunities and support to develop their interest and careers in leadership and within the STEM space. So you don't need to only be within the STEM space. You can even be related to STEM in different ways, in marketing, in other things, even in finance, but you are in that space. You might be in a technology company that you're being exposed. What do you end up doing? You end up being able to build yourself. So through that is that you have to lead by example. I have led by example. If you can see from the pictures, all these are young girls who have been able to be exposed, and I've given them the opportunity to be able to expose themselves and to build themselves in becoming better and better. Not that they can be able to sit at the comfort of their desk waiting to delegate to other people to do this. They have to go into that space and be able to be led, to be able to lead others, so that in future, not someone who is unable to climb a tower would say that, oh, we cannot be able to do this. No, it means that I can also equally do that. Same case. I become a sounding bar for women and ladies. Sometimes people have these challenges. What do they face on a day-to-day basis? How do they face them? How can they be able to grow? So being that sounding bar, you also listen, and you also learn to listen, and you also learn from their stories and tell them, this is how possibly I would have done it, or probably this is what I have gone through, and I don't believe that you need to go through again. Building their confidence in the STEM space. Younger girls right now are finding, unfortunately, the shortcuts in life, which is one of the things that is leading to people leaving their comfort, the main thing of not wanting to be within the uncomfortable space. Why? Because you want the shorter ways in life. You have to be able to work. You have to be able to find yourself in that space. You have to put yourself in that dirty space so that you can be able to clean up all that is around you. You have to be able to give an opportunity to others so that they can be able to see what is happening. Another thing is that training and mentorship to the young girls who then do the same to others. You have to allow yourself to train so that you can train others. So the more you train and the more you get these opportunities, help others who are also within other areas to get that opportunity. And exposure to forums. There's so many things that are happening. Like Huawei has a lot of things like ICT competitions. We have cloud computing trainings. We have all these things that are being done for young girls and for women around, even in women in business. So you have to grab those opportunities and see how you can be able to take that opportunity. Ask to be a speaker in some of these forums. Ask to be a representative. Ask to be a panelist, so that you can be able to build that confidence around yourself. Another thing is training external people. Don't just sit and wait for all these things to explore so that you can grow yourself. Find yourself in building other people's skills. Remember, every time you try to educate someone or you try to help someone, you also get to learn from someone. And through that, you're able to sharpen those skills and you're able to sharpen those experiences. So some of the things that I've been able to do together with my team is that we've been able to teach through our digital program, teach young girls around the digital skills within the marginalized areas. How can they get this kind of opportunities? So we have also areas like Samburu Girls Foundation coming to sit and be mentored around strong women who can be able to tell them it is okay not to be okay. But at the end of the day, you have to remember to get up, you dust yourself, and move on. We also have young girls being mentored, young girls in high school. So they're coming into this real world where they need to be able to expose themselves. And how will they expose themselves? You have to teach them a few social skills. How will they be able to express themselves in the real world? And another thing is also helping younger girls or even people who are disabled, people who are also really abandoned by the society, such as street people. So you have to dig yourself. You have to put yourself in muddy waters so that you can be able to get others out of those muddy waters and give the society a chance and giving hope to the people who have lost hope. Another thing is that I've been able to see a great opportunity around young children. Right now, every child is trying to see how they can be able to build and they can be able to get something and break it and rebuild it. A case example is my son. I buy him a car. And later on he'll come and break it. But at the end of the day, you'll see him trying to rebuild it, to try and see what are the components around this car. And through that, you can be able to tell he's actually trying to get that chance to see what is there. That is actually critical thinking. And through that, I've been able to be involved in being an ambassador for young engineers, young programs where we train 4 years to 16 years of age, where we are able to see them building such structures, such critical structures using Lego blocks. So some of these things that you're able to see as just normal things that your children do and ask them to maybe stop, you should allow them to try and get that exposure. Let them try and see what are these opportunities that they can grab. And through that, you have to be able to help them move that journey. This helps them with their critical and creative thinking. And that is how, as they grow, they end up becoming really people who explore more structures, people who want to be engineers, people who want to be in that space. Why? Because they've already gained the confidence as they grow. So being able to support young children. I also bring about young moms and dads so that they can be able to also see their children develop, be involved in the development of their children, and not only assume that it is the responsibility of a teacher or a program, but it is also their responsibility to assist their children in this growth. Another thing is that you have to be able to build that confidence, build them, take them through, and let them be able to express themselves. It is okay for them if they're wrong. You don't have to criticize them. Just teach them the journey of some of the mistakes that they will make, and then they are able to improve. As they improve, they keep sharpening their skills. They keep improving every journey that they do. And through that, it helps them to become better and better. And that is what exactly I experienced. Being a vice director is not something that was just handed over to me in a silver plate. This was something that was handed over to me through having to expose myself in so many things. Again, as I mentioned, I had to be able to be on site with so many people. I still go to site. I'm still an engineer. I still find myself being exposed to some of these very challenging experiences. If someone wants to learn something, you have to be able to support them. As a leader, you have to be there with them, walk the journey, help them to understand what could be the challenge around some of the infrastructure that you're building. And through that, they're able to do better, they're able to grow better, they're able to become better. And this helps you also to learn. So in summary, what exactly have I talked about through this whole journey? My journey has been one key thing. I usually summarize with using 5 pointers. It is important to create time. You have to create time. Never say that there's no time. You'll always have to make that time to do better things, to better yourself. Number two, you have to make the ordinary. You have to be you have to move the ordinary to become extraordinary in everything that you do. Through that, it makes you be able to build your journey. It makes you become better. It makes you be picked out of the flock that is there, so that you are able to see that you're able to make something better out of the ordinary people who are still in their comfort zone. Another thing is that you have to take time to give a helping hand. You have to build, or you have to bring up someone. Don't just build up yourself and forget others who are around you. You have to also try and build them up and get them to that space. You have to make also your network your net worth. You have to create these networks, and through that, make use of these networks. Don't just assume that you have them on your mobile phone as a contact list so that you can just showcase to everyone that you have this contact. No, you have to see how you can be able to create that opportunity around that, and that is what we call the net worth. Create a space that can help you build a society. Create that opportunity. Dig yourself deeper into the muddy waters, as I mentioned, and bring yourself out as you bring others out of those muddy waters. And another thing, last but not least, is that you must always stay hungry. When you stay hungry, just like normally, you'll find yourself eating. You must stay hungry for information. You must stay hungry for whatever is surrounding you, and that will make you keep learning. You have to keep learning. You have to keep developing yourself to make yourself better. Thank you.